what a way to come back. That's what this look is. Like, oh my God, I even look more ridiculous than I thought I did in these. So I'm back after being sick again for, well, this coming Monday, it'll be 2 weeks total that I've been sick. Also, finally got, as you can see, a nice fancy phone mount. So hopefully it'll stay. It's already, I don't know if it's like staying in place super well. I might have to do some adjustments. I just really quickly popped it up just so I could get going. I have been sick and not working. I tried to push myself to work like a day or two when I really shouldn't have. I got a pretty bad cold, and then 2 days later I got what I thought was pink eye symptoms. It was like, I mean, it was pink eye symptoms. It just didn't end up being that. And I thought that's what it was. So I just going about my life knowing that it'll have to, you know, kind of just pass on its own. And then I go to the doctor several days later and they tell me that it's actually not pink eye and it's a complete coincidence that these symptoms happened when I had the cold, and it was a contact induced like bacterial infection that I got in my eye. So that was one of the worst pains I felt in my entire life. It was awful. I could literally barely see, so much light sensitivity. I can't even, it was terrible. So I went to the doctor and I got eye drops, and literally that same night it was already so much better. And now it's been a couple days and I'm almost completely back to normal. But the reason why I'm wearing these Karen 2000 sunglasses is because I still do have some light sensitivity. It's not anything severe, but it's enough that putting these sunglasses on just makes it so much easier, especially driving right now. It's like insane bright sun. It's 4:30 right now and I'm in Phoenix, so it's super hot and the sun is blaring. I'm having a hard time with my phone mount too. So this whole video is just like pure chaos at this point. I look even more ridiculous than I thought I did with these glasses on. I'm just wearing them because they're really big, so they cover like my entire eye to help with the light sensitivity. So I'm just walking around, driving around looking ridiculous, but that's okay because I'm still at least now healthy enough to get back to making money and not feel like I'm gonna die. I actually started working a little bit earlier, but I was still messing around with my phone mount, so you're kind of joining a little bit late. I've already done 3 orders, so a little bit later than I wanted to just get this set up filming when I first started, but of course I accept an order right when I leave my house. And so then I kind of have to hurry or else I'm gonna get it taken away. I've actually only done Uber Eats and I've been online. It's 4:30 now. I think I started an hour ago. Let me check. Yeah, I started at 3:30. So I've been on for an hour now and I've done 3 Uber Eats orders. On my way now to my 4th one. So I will put the orders on the screen here just as I'm talking so you can see the ones I've already done. Honestly, hard to even look at myself talk when I look like this, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, this is what I have to do to be able to work, to make sure that I don't have too much light problems. That just so happened I'm logged on with Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, and Grubhub. And so far I've only taken Uber Eats deliveries. And it is a Friday. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. It's Friday, so it's definitely a busy day. It's 4:39, so it's like early dinner rush time. I have no goal. I'm just trying to get back out here and make as much as I can. I will probably work a little bit late tonight because it's probably gonna stay busy. And so far it's been pretty busy. I actually got sick Monday night before the 4th of July, so I don't know what day that is, but I was literally supposed to go out of town on a trip for over 4th of July weekend to California and go hang out at the beach and just have the best time, and whole trip had to get canceled obviously because I was sick. I'm pretty much back to my normal self, just not all the way. Okay, we got the Postino. If you've never had this before, it's absolutely delicious. However, I don't really trust this person because she got a pub board with no pickles and no peppers, which to me, I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing. Also, Postino has dot cake. So she ordered that too. That I'm a little jealous of and wish I could take a peek at. But we are going to deliver this. It is only, let's see, 5 minutes drive. So that's super easy. You know that Uber will send you orders when you're in the middle of doing your order because they want to keep you on the platform. And that is amazing, obviously, to get orders before you're even done dropping off the one that you're on. But then it just creates like more and more notifications coming in. And when you're on 4 apps, there's already a lot going on. So it can definitely be a lot to keep track of, but this is what we want. We want it to be really busy. It's a pretty good order, and I got it when I was in the parking lot of the apartment complex at my last delivery. So I'm like, it literally could not have been more back to back. Usually there is a bit of a wait at Postino. Like when I was just there now, they were quoting 35 to 45 minutes just to sit inside. And it's like early on a Friday. I just dropped off that Postino. All of the apps are going absolutely crazy right now. Like it's so hard to even go back and forth between them. I'm literally just gonna sit here and wait for my next order. I'm not gonna bother really moving anywhere because I'm already in a neighborhood that's really close to a bunch of restaurants. So I'm just gonna wait for something good to come in. Driving over here, a good Instacart did come in. It was $55 for 62 units. But it was 4 shop and deliver and 7 miles with heavy pay. So I did have a chance to get it. It didn't disappear right away, but I did decide to pass on it, especially just because it's Friday at dinner time and it's going off on all the apps. I'm like, if that was for 2 customers, I would have done it. I think right away I would have taken it. But 4, you guys know how I feel about 4 shop and deliver. I just think it's ridiculous, especially if the orders are kind of close in size. Sometimes you have to take 2 carts. It's really hard to keep 4 separated in 1 cart. So it's $4.58 and all the apps are super busy. So I'm just gonna hang out here until in this neighborhood until I get my next offer. But I need to get back to my eye situation with this whole thing that happened that I thought was pink eye. It was like all the same symptoms as pink eye, but I think just now looking back, it was just more severe. Do not sleep in your contacts. Make sure you change them regularly. Clean them every single day. Do not mess around with that because this doctor said that this issue was from sleeping in my contacts and then also just not washing them on a regular basis. And I had some cornea damage from this. And luckily it was nothing severe and it was just treatable with drops. And then I am going to a follow-up appointment for him to recheck my eyes to make sure they've healed. But you don't want to mess around with that. Like I know everyone kind of sleeps in their contacts, or it kind of seems like that, I don't know. But it's way more severe, or it can get more severe than you think. So if you wear contacts, like do not sleep in them anymore. Make sure that you're putting them in a disinfecting solution overnight. And also throw out your contact case and get a new case every few months. Being up on these things is like way more serious than I thought, and also more serious than like it seems to be talked about. I don't know. Do not mess around with that so that this doesn't happen to you. Yeah, there's my little PSA. This has never happened to me before. I've worn contacts for, probably 10 plus years at this point, and never had an issue. All right, so that took all of a couple minutes. So now we're gonna head to this pickup. It is going a little bit further north than I normally like to go, but I'm trying to be a little bit less picky and knock out more orders back to back. And because I've been waiting for literally only a few minutes, focus on doing more offers. And I tend to get a little bit stuck in the trap of like, especially on the weekends, waiting for good Instacart offers or trying to put myself in the store bubble and, not doing other offers on DoorDash or Uber. All right, well, that didn't last long. Just as I'm going on my rant about how I'm trying to be less picky and do orders back to back, I just got this Instacart order. There's no way that I could pull off doing both. A lot of times what I'll do is, and it usually works out, is I'll be able to kind of work on food deliveries and just keep watching Instacart. And even if I'm in the middle of doing an assignment, I'm usually able to finish it in time and still get to the Instacart store on time because they give you like 30 minutes usually. And so that almost always works out. But in this instance, it's not going to work out because I just accepted the order. So, I hadn't even really started driving. I just barely started driving to the restaurants for the DoorDash. And yeah, they were going complete opposite directions. So in this case, there was no way to do both. So I did take the L on that and I did unassign from that stack on DoorDash. And the thing that sucks is when you accept a double stack order on DoorDash, they count that as 2 unassigns. So if you take a batch on Instacart that's 4, it could be 4 shop and delivers in one batch, and you decide to cancel that batch for whatever reason, that just counts as 1 cancellation. This is such an annoying thing. Uber does the same thing. if you accept a double stack and you want to like unassign, it counts as twice. So that can dip your completion rate down really quickly. So you want to be careful. I think my completion rate was at 96. So I'm good enough in the zone. So I did take the L on that. We'll see what my completion rate is after this, and I can go back and check after I'm done with this shift. But I do think this one was worth doing the unassign on DoorDash. When I read it, I actually almost thought that it said 4 shop and deliver, so I didn't even like instant accept, like where you literally just click and you can barely even see. I did like click on it and give myself a second to look at the order, and then I realized it was 2 shops, and I was like, oh, okay, now I'm accepting. And I think my eyes looked at the miles because it's 4.4 miles. Only 2 shops, 37 items, 51 units for $49. And at Sprouts, and it's at my favorite location of Sprouts that I'm the fastest at. I knew that if I tried to push it and complete the DoorDash orders and then like zip all the way down to Sprouts, it was gonna be cutting it super close, and I didn't want to lose this one. This is such an easy order. Sometimes you have to kind of, make a hard judgment call when you're trying to multi-app, and if you already commit to taking an offer and sometimes you can't complete it, you just got to make that judgment if it's worth it to take the hit on your completion rate. Want to keep your completion rate up on DoorDash and Uber so that because it inevitably will happen, if a situation like this happens where you get a great Instacart order and you just can't complete the food deliveries in time, you want to have your completion rate high enough to where that you can do this every now and then. And so far, I've been doing that for a while now, and I've gotten my completion rate really, like, pretty close to the edge. I've gotten on DoorDash down to 91, and then on Uber, I've gotten up to like 13%, and 15% is the max, and on DoorDash, it's 90 or below. I think you have to go below 90% to be at risk of deactivation. I don't think they immediately deactivate you, but to 91, and that's the closest I've ever pushed it. In this case, I'm happy with my choice. The delivery is going to downtown for this Instacart order, so that kind of sucks because I kind of don't really love working in that area. It's way easier to work if you have a bike around downtown. But we'll see if maybe I can just sit there for a little bit after I'm done with this and get a food delivery that kind of takes me more out of downtown. Still don't regret taking this order. Such an amazing order for only 2 customers and at a small store that I'm so fast at. It'll take me an hour. That's why I also can't pass up the opportunity to make $49 in 1 hour. So sorry DoorDash, but this was worth it to cancel those double stacks and get started on a Sprouts order. So I am heading there now, and now that I have my phone propped up on the center part of my car, you can actually see this just lovely drive that I'm on. As someone's braking really aggressively. This is the worst part of this. I don't know if you could just see that, but I'm in Uptown Phoenix where they have this reverse lane, and this is the worst time to be driving here between 4 and 6 p.m. because they turn this lane not to be a turn lane anymore, so people come straight, so they use this lane to drive straight. You can kind of see this car here. So if you want to turn, you're not supposed to, but people do it anyways, and instead they just stop in the middle of like the traffic lane. They just stop in the middle of the way they're already driving because they can't use that lane to turn, and it becomes a disaster really quickly. So that's a little part of, anyone who's local or been to Phoenix will know what I'm talking about, but that reverse lane is the worst thing ever in Uptown Phoenix. Terrible. And I've seen it cause so many almost accidents, and I bet it has caused its fair share of accidents in the past, because it's kind of just asking for it, honestly. I am here, just pulled up to Sprouts, and I'm gonna get a spot right in the front, and we're gonna knock out this $49 order, and it should only take me an hour. All right, so we are on the way to the first customer, and she is only a 5-minute drive, and this is definitely a repeat customer. This is order A, and I've had this customer many times before, which that's probably why I got the order, because I wasn't really that close to the store. I was probably like a 10-minute drive away, but that's probably why, because they do like to prioritize repeat customers. It's like split exactly to the unit count. So it was 26 units each customer. Customer A that tips well, but we will find out if tip disparity is once we finish the order, but because this is a repeat, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be mostly her. Kind of funny that down to the units, the orders were exactly split 50-50 at 26 units each. This is a new Instacart update. This is the first time I'm seeing this, but I haven't worked in several days now. So this is what the screen looks like now. Screenshot of it right here. So they changed it so you can't see item details until you start shopping. So I guess it's because they want to prevent people from ghost shopping, which I think most people do. We do that pretty much all the time, especially with deli items. And when it's out of your control, especially like with the deli or if you're chatting with customers, your shopping time will go up really quickly if you're not kind of like just cycling through items pretty quickly. So that's super annoying, and that's the first I've seen it. If you are an Instacart shopper, let me know if your screen looks like this now or if it still looks the old way. You have to start shopping before you can see the details. And with deli items, that's like the most annoying thing. So this one only had one deli item, but you can't even see any other details. So you have to press start shopping before you can even start ordering deli items. And on orders that have a lot more deli items on them, that's gonna be an even bigger hassle or just like a bigger impact on your shopping speed. So that's pretty unfortunate. All right, order A is dropped off, and I just realized that I don't have my cart with me because I used it to carry things up to my apartment. I forgot to put it back in my car, and since I haven't been working in a few days, I just like totally let it sit there. So I don't have my cart, and this apartment complex I've been to many times. It's usually a pretty far walk to deliver the groceries. This person has 2 gallons of water, so that's pretty unfortunate. I kind of messed up on this one. It's definitely possible to carry it all together. It's just gonna be a pain because these are also the Crystal Geyser gallons of water, which those are my least favorite because they don't have the handles on them. So they're like impossible to grab. So yeah, this is pretty unfortunate that I don't have my cart for an apartment complex like this where I know there's just a lot of walking. All right, second one's dropped off. So that order did take an hour, and the second drop off, I'm like, I have a bad feeling about this because I know that first customer is a repeat customer. She always tips well. And yeah, sure enough, second order, both orders were the exact same size, 26 units. And this one had gallons of water on it, and it was an apartment, and she tipped $8. I knew that was gonna happen. $8 is not horrible. And obviously it would have been easier if I remembered my cart, but the water and further away from the store and an apartment, it's so crazy. Like, so one of them tipped like $34 and then one tipped $8 for the exact same order size. It took an hour, so whatever, who cares? Now it is hilarious because I'm sitting here waiting for an order, and there's an order on my screen right now for $13.98, 28 items, 122 units. But I don't know if you can even see it that well. 122 units, $5 tip. And it's like all bags of chips, like an absurd amount of bags of chips, 10 bags of Oreo minis. I mean, this is gonna be an entire cart filled to the brim because these are like bulkier items. Like those bags of chips, like 6 bags of chips actually takes up like way more space in the cart than you would think. And like this entire order is like 4 bags of chips, 5 bags, 8 bags of one of these. I don't even know what that person, it's so funny to see like the most random things that some people order where you're like, what is going on? And that is one of those. I'm like, yeah, a $5 tip for that is ridiculous. It's gonna be like, the cart's gonna be filled all the way to the top. But anyway, now I am near downtown, so I'm gonna try to get an order that's in this area that's heading a little bit up north. It is 6 o'clock, so normally I would work way later than this. And I live like in the downtown area, so that's why whenever I get orders that send me back right close to where I live, it's nice to like not drive back out of the city again. But it's pretty early to quit. It's only 6 o'clock. So I'm probably gonna try to head back out of the city and get more orders in that zone. So that worked out perfectly. As I was heading kind of more into downtown, order popped up on Uber on the trip radar, so I clicked match to it right away. And then I waited for a little bit on that. And as I was waiting for it to match, I got this order on DoorDash, which is for the same restaurant. They were both for Pomo. So I accepted the DoorDash and I still hadn't been matched on Uber yet. Even if I just get this DoorDash order, it's still a pretty good order. Like, I'll be happy with it. And I did end up getting the Uber order. So I got both, and I very rarely will do double stacks like this because honestly the timing just has to be perfect. Marked late on DoorDash especially, so usually it doesn't end up working out, but this one was a perfect example. Pretty easy to do a double stack. We're dropping off the Uber one first. I'm only a 4-minute drive from that customer, and then the DoorDash one is probably going 1 to 2 miles north. So, and then we're gonna be more in like the Midtown Phoenix area, which is exactly what I was hoping for. It's still so bright, oh my God, even with these giant monstrosity glasses on. Uber has been treating me really well today, better than DoorDash. I think it's probably gonna keep up, but it is Friday, so I guess that's to be expected, and we'll see how late I work. I'm trying not to like wear myself out too much, because I have been taking it so easy and like doing virtually nothing from being sick. So I'm trying to ease myself into it a little bit. So I'm probably not gonna stay out too late. If I'm doing food deliveries, those are way easier and less like stressful on your body and like obviously a lot less work. So it's kind of easier to do those when I'm getting back into the swing of things again. See if Instacart tosses me anything else, but honestly, I'm happy with doing that just one $50 order for the night and just doing food delivery and kind of taking it a little bit more easy. I'm definitely still like dehydrated and trying to make sure I'm like keeping up on my water, and it's also 114 degrees right now. So it's already hard to stay hydrated in that kind of weather, and from being sick, it's just so easy to get dehydrated. So I'm definitely feeling that a little bit. I have been getting sick much more often. I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise because before I started doing this, I really would go to the same few places. Like, I just wasn't out touching nearly as many things. And my job, I would go to the same office. So it does make sense that like you are exposed to way more germs when you're out in public all the time. And that's something to think about with this kind of job. Higher risk of getting sick just from coming into contact with so many people and surfaces. And especially with like grocery shopping, you're like touching so many items on the shelves. So I just need to be a little bit more diligent about washing my hands and using hand sanitizer. I am someone who washes my hands really frequently and I feel gross like really easily. But I think I need to start sanitizing my hands like after every grocery shop, especially on those when you're just touching so many things. I need to change something so that I don't get sick as often, because I was literally just sick. If you've seen some of my older videos, just a couple months ago, I got sick in the beginning of April, right before we moved. So I moved into a new apartment in mid-April, and I got sick right before that and was still sick while we were doing everything. So that was only 3 months ago. Before this, I was not someone who got colds very often. All right, that was super easy. The order was ready right away, and I'm only a 5-minute drive. And it's another apartment, and I have been to this one before. This one can be annoying as far as like doing a lot of walking in the hallways, but it did look like she left pretty good instructions, and that really helps a lot. Hopefully I'll be able to get this one done pretty quickly, and there was a good tip on it too, so should take maybe 15-20 minutes. Anyone else's Uber app do this? I would assume it's not just me, but using the navigation, you'll click navigate, and a lot of times it copies the wrong address. Like, it will copy over an address that's like one number off from the person's house number, or if it's an apartment, sometimes it's a completely different number that it says on there. That's just like super annoying. My DoorDash never does that. Like, the maps is always correct and I never have to check it. A lot of times on Uber, I have to manually type in the address. You would think that would be an easy thing for them to figure out how to get their algorithm to like work correctly. That could create major issues really quickly with like dropping off to the wrong address. And I don't know why it does that, but yeah, a lot of times I do have to like manually type in the address to make sure it's really what the app says. I wanted to do something about my new phone stand. Of course, I'm like all excited to get a brand new phone stand. It's like so easy to install, but it doesn't hold the phone up. Like, you have one job, like it just keeps falling. And I wonder if there's like something I can tighten on it. I hope that I don't have to like return this and get a new one. Hopefully it's just because I just installed it now and like barely even read any of the directions or anything, that maybe there's a way to tighten it so that it stops falling, because like that's kind of useless if it's just gonna keep falling. I just need one thing. I just need one. This just needs to do one thing. Just hold my phone up. Is that hard? Okay, that was just one of my least favorite apartment complexes to drop off to. You know that if you drive around and deliver, you just find your places that you just hate. What is annoying, because it's just hard to navigate. It's like one giant building, so you could end up walking throughout the halls for a long time if you don't know where you're going. And a lot of times people don't give you very good directions, and you end up doing that. The good news is as I was dropping that one off in the complex, I got this Uber order on TripRadar, so I matched to it, and they did end up giving it to me. And I'm just about now pulling up to the restaurant now, and this is actually a restaurant I've never been to, so we'll see. I'm hoping that it's ready. All right, that apartment had a lot of walking up and down the hallways. I've been there before, and even though she put specific directions, there was still just like, there's kind of no way around it, because the main entrance, there's only one way to use the call box to get in. So you end up just like walking all over the complex to drop off food, which really sucks, but at least it was a good tip. So, and as I was leaving the building, I got another great Uber Eats order. So I took this one right away. A lot less of them have been exclusive offers. I don't know if that's just like a coincidence. Couple minutes when I was there, it wasn't ready right away. And this food actually smells so good. It's like pita falafel type food, and it smells really good. And if you know me, there's one thing I love is falafel and any sort of Greek Mediterranean food. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'm set to arrive at the customer at 7:28. I'm probably just gonna try to get one more order that heads me more in the direction of home, and then probably call it after this. I am already pretty tired and also kind of running out of water, so probably just need to take it a little bit easy now that I'm getting back into it. I'm like, there's no way that after being sick, I can like jump right back into like an 8 to 10 hour shift. It's just not a good idea.
I can't just start my job up immediately. I need time to decompress, or I will die.
Take it a little bit easy, so probably just grab one more after this and then head home, and we'll see what I was able to round up just for my first kind of short shift back. Literally so surprising, but it's actually less busy now than it was earlier, which for a Friday is like super unusual. Now that it's like 7:30, normally this is where it gets really busy and it's like dying down. But I did just start heading in the direction of home, just because I am already pretty tired, and I'm like, if I don't get one that's taking me in that direction, then I'll just end on the one I just did. But I got this Pomo order, so we're going back there again. We're going back to Pomo, and it's perfect because it's right on my way home, and the order is staying in the downtown area, so basically the same thing is on my way. So this one will be really easy, and then I'll end off on this one, and we'll see how much I made. But I was busy. I was not like taking any breaks. Like I was taking orders back to back pretty much, so I feel like that probably adds up really quick. It's dropping off to one of the hotels around here from what I can tell on the map pin, which those are always really easy because they always have like valet areas, and it's not like a hassle to find parking or anything. So this should be a nice easy one to end off on. Right, this is a super easy one because it is at one of the Hyatts down here, and it's just leave it lobby. And the good thing about driving in the same area is obviously you know where to go. So I've been to this hotel a bunch of times. There's a lot of people here right now. I guess it's Friday though, so that makes sense. And that's the best thing about hotels, is usually that's how they are, and then you can just get on your way quickly and don't have to worry about finding people's hotel rooms. All right, so I'm gonna call it here. It's 7:49 p.m. and because I live in the downtown area, perfect place to end up. I will put my total in here at the end. I'm not really sure how much I made because the tips come through on Uber kind of late, so I haven't been, it's kind of harder to like add it up as you go. And I think I did really good. So I'm definitely happy with this shift as my first one back after being sick. And I'm gonna try to get some rest tonight so I can get back at it tomorrow and Sunday. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like watching gig work videos like this and are interested in money tips in general, you should definitely subscribe because that's what I talk about on this channel. And definitely give the video a like for the algorithm if you enjoyed it. And hopefully I will see you in my next video.